Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. We are the Word Vomit Podcast, a podcast that talks about video games, comics, movies, and television. We add streaming to the TV part because it technically is. I am the stubborn SOB, Vitamin E Man, a.k.a. Emmanuel. On this Zoom meeting, we have, first off, special guest, 10 times 10. We got Becca and Gamer Lynn.
Hello.
Woo!
And as our regular co-hosts are concerned, we have Randy Kings.
What?
And one Mr. Sean Vander.
Tired Sean Vander.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are recording from the Zoom Garage Studios. If you like what you're listening to, make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing. And when you subscribe on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Word Vomit Productions, make sure you ding, ring that bell.
Also, subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform that we're on. Spotify,
Ladies and
that sort of
gentlemen,
thing.
What is up?
Oh, boy.
Oh, man, we
Yeah.
just had an excursion, a campaign,
Yeah.
as you will.
So, I went through some technical, I pulled every bit of my technical prowess to pull
Okay.
off that video of us playing
Sean, before
Betrayal.
before that,
What? Oh,
I've got to say this.
what?
We all owe a huge debt of gratitude to one Mr. Sean Vander
Yeah.
for the large
awesome.
campaign that we just had.
Yep.
He set everything
I've been
up.
before.
He freaked out plenty. He always does
Yes.
that, but we added more freak out to it than normal. Made it work. And it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. You'll be seeing some video content in the near future for it.
Yes.
Sean, if we don't say it enough, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
You are
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Mr. One Man Show Techie.
I try. I really, really try.
Round of applause.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
We did a
Well,
thing. You'll see it on YouTube.
We did a thing on YouTube. And we played Betrayal on the House on the Hill.
It was glorious.
It was I want to say like a 3-hour campaign that we had. And we
Holy
did it all
shit,
through
was it?
Zoom.
Yeah, it was roughly around 3 hours.
It was roughly around that. We got it set up with our guest right now, 10 times 10.
Yay.
We've been trying to do this for a while, actually.
Oh, boy, have
And
we.
This was the situation. And we talked about this before. We touched on it where we were going to do this on this day in person before everything that's going on right now is happening. So we tried our best to do something else. Actually, we were supposed to have Rock Rage with us as well. And he and I were going to settle the score on some Def Jam Fight for New York.
Oh.
That ain't happening until
But life happens, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you only
That's
bob and you
alright.
weave, the best that you can. Maybe
that
sneak
just
a
means
punch
you
here
get
and
to
there.
that just means you get more time in the lab, but so does Rock Rage. So think
Yes.
about it that way.
Yes, and he better be taking advantage of it. Before we go on, I'd like to open up the floor to 10 times 10. I want them to, I introduced them, but I'd like them to introduce themselves and, let us know a little bit about
Absolutely.
Sure. Well, I'm Gamer Becca,
And I'm Gamer Lynn.
and we are
10 times 10.
You
So,
guys practiced that.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
so
Look at the synchronicity of that. If that is even a word.
literally most of our videos open on YouTube. So we are a YouTube channel. We do lots of gaming, lots of D&D currently. We definitely game on consoles, just about every console and PC. But we mostly have done coverage on the either gaming or anime conventions that we've attended, or the lovely D&D and Pathfinder miniatures that we have been supplied by our lovely DM and very good friend Met. So, but we have lots of interests in just kind of like the gaming world abroad. Tabletop, as we have so wonderfully experienced with Word Vomit today.
The next time we do that, we got to be in person for that.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
Sean Vander did a lot of work, and it was really hard. So again, appreciations for that. But he's right. I'd love to be in the same room with you guys. I'd love to be able to share the energy that's going on.
Totally.
But the C virus, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the compliments, Sean, on that whole thing, because I do a lot of the basically the production of setting up the lights and cameras and stuff. And man, doing that kind of stuff, especially on this kind of platform where you got to do it now, that's difficult.
Impressive.
Thank you.
It's not
So impressive.
It's not
Right
to
up
say
until
that
I
it's-
accidentally unplugged one of my cameras. So
which you'll
yeah,
see,
I knew I
which you'll
should have
see in the
taped that
podcast or
sucker
in the
down.
videos. But and it's not to say that it was like done at the very last minute, but our work schedules aren't synchronized. It's the best way
Oh
to say
boy,
it.
they're
Like,
not.
there's different schedules. So again,
Yeah.
I can't say enough how grateful we are to you, sir. And
Thanks, man.
at some point in time, we won't punch you in the face. When the opportunity comes, we won't do it. That's just to show how appreciative we are.
I gotta make sure.
I didn't make that
moneymaker-
promise.
I knew Randy was going to say something about that.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
know.
make that promise.
Yeah, you get one. All right.
Punch, no. Flying knee,
Yes.
maybe. No.
No.
So funny.
You have to
Oh, you
jump.
know what? I just remember. So
I
the
can
first
still
time we
jump,
met
Sean.
you
I don't know
guys-
about you, but I can still jump.
What's up?
The
Sorry,
first time
Becca.
we met you guys, was it East Bay?
Yes, it was East Bay
It was
Comic
at
Con.
East Bay
Big
Comic-Con.
Comic Con. That's what I thought. I was like,
So
pretty
long
sure.
ago. My
At the
God.
original hotel, not the pavilion afterwards, because they moved to the
Dude.
pavilion. So
Oh
it was
my
one of
gosh.
the first ones that they did.
what was that,
Mhm.
like 2016, 17, 17?
Something.
16 sounds about right.
16, 17?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Too damn long. Too
Yeah.
damn long.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
We
like
actually,
3 years
we
ago
actually
now.
went looking
Think
for
about
you
that.
guys for
Oh.
2020. We're like, where are these guys at?
Oh.
Like, come on, we got to do something.
Yeah.
That's when Windstorm 2020 hit and everyone wanted to cut out.
man.
Dude.
Yeah, I was hoping. So the intro for that video on our YouTube channel is a manual in front of the doors, like, "Hey, word vomit, a manual, da 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 da," right? And the wind is kicking so bad. I was like hoping somebody off the camera, because it would have been me if I was there, which I wasn't, would have just strategically let go a plastic bag to hit a manual in the face.
Yeah, I was thinking that
And it'd been
too.
like, yes.
That would have been
That would have
awesome.
been a great intro for the video, but nah.
Well, what we were trying, I mean, that was an original idea, but the wind blew our camera down as we were holding. I'm like, oh shit, and then I didn't want to drop the camera because it's our camera.
Yeah, the
Holy
camera
that was
didn't
really
move,
funny.
that was crazy.
It was a thing where we didn't know how bad it was because we had a park kind of in the parking lot next to the hotel because there was
Which
no
is
more
the
spots.
Sam's Club.
Yeah, and it was so windy. We're
yeah.
like, I really wish we had gotten closer.
And the
really
problem,
wish we could have
and the
gotten
part of it, the worst part of it was that it was walking back to the car was against the wind. So
We're like,
we
oh
had
my
the
God,
situation
that sucked.
where when we're walking towards the hotel, we're trying really hard not to get caught up.
Yeah.
And when we're trying to walk back to drop off equipment or anything that we bought, we're fighting against the wind. So there was like,
You're
there's no
literally
middle ground or anything. We're
Cartoon
just-
status, like trying to fight.
right. Right. Oh man.
Gee whiz, guys.
So again, thank you 10 times 10 for joining us on the show. We've got a couple things we'd like to talk about here. As I'm sure you guys are aware, we do all the kooky stuff that happens in the wacky world of video games,
yeah.
Try.
movies, streaming, television, and comic books. So let's go ahead and jump right in, yeah?
Alrighty.
So the first thing that we want to talk about, we went over this briefly beforehand, but apparently Fortnite is now becoming a concert ground.
This isn't the first time they've done this, though.
No, but this is the biggest one that they've done so far.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll say that.
So Travis Scott actually releasing his new album or performing from his new album, which I believe is called Astronomical, on
Oh.
Fortnite for I think it's even happening as we're recording right now. It's going to happen until the end of the week. So I think like we're on the 25th today. It'll finish up on the 26th, end of day. So like there's multiple showings of it, which is crazy because everybody's coming back and telling us how insane it is and how awesome it looks.
Awesome.
I haven't seen it. I have
Well,
to go
you know,
into Fortnite to see it. What?
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Like,
I mean,
All
you
right.
gotta go to a concert venue to see a concert, so
yeah, but that's a
Yes,
live
it's
event,
True.
dude.
It's true.
I mean, technically, it's a live event because
Yeah,
it is
but I
live.
guess-
it just happens virtual. I get it. It's
Yeah.
because there's a bias against Fortnite, but it's like that's just their space they're using.
Okay,
Yeah.
and let me go ahead and say, anybody who plays Fortnite and enjoys it, great for you. We're not hating on you for that. It's just it wasn't
Can
really
I?
of our titles. Okay,
Say
Sean
I
wants
Great
to
for
hear
you
it.
know, it's
You
really
play
good
it.
that you're
I
playing
played, but I
Fortnite.
played
How's
shooters.
8th grade working out for you? You know, how's
Aw.
puberty working out for you? Is it good? Is it really good? You know, don't
Aw.
be so depressed when your voice is cracking and your hair growing in places you didn't
What makes me
expect,
laugh is
you know?
what
Sean.
age do you think people were playing Street Fighter 2 in? I could arguably say Street Fighter
Same.
2 all the way on. It's like that. It's like, oh, how
Same.
was that?
But I don't
So it's
expect
all good.
I don't expect MC Hammer to do a virtual console through or virtual
You never
concert
know.
through Street Fighter 2.
I bet he
Which
would
would have been
though.
amazing.
They would if they could.
know-
They would if they could, Sean. They
Yeah.
would if
They
they
have
could.
the technology, right?
Well, now
it
they
might
do,
happen
yes.
now. It might happen now. So I'm like,
Oh,
it's
So
Good
I'm
game.
pulling up a video right now. I think so that we don't get flagged, I am going to not play
Read
the
it.
sound.
cool.
But just so that we can get a visual of what's going
So
on for the
let's see
astronomical
what we're
event. Okay?
We cut live to the
To the
Slim
already
Shady.
recorded event.
already recorded event.
Already.
All right. And
So this is what's going on at the event.
Yeah.
oh,
All right.
It's really jaggedy, but yeah.
And apparently he turns into a giant.
That's so cool.
nice. And he's flying through the
I'm
world.
sure it's a lot better when it's not all slowed
you
down.
know,
but yeah.
when the internet is a thing.
Well, actually,
That's
this is
fine.
the current speed that it's going at. It's not even like
Yeah.
Is this like a live stream?
no. Well, I mean, this is like a recorded from it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All
I
right.
mean, right, not perfect.
Apparently they set a record. There's 12 million people dropped in to watch this concert.
Damn.
It
So
looks
12 million
awesome.
8th graders jumped on Sean. Just so you know, 12 million 8th graders.
It's free. They can. Whatever.
And it's really crazy because who was the first? Marshmallow. Marshmallow
Marshmallow.
was the first
Yeah.
artist that they had to do it on Fortnite,
Mhm.
and I stumbled across it because
Hmm.
I was playing Fortnite at the time. I jump on it ever so often myself just to see like, okay, what's the scene or what have they changed? 'Cause I remember when the game first came out, it didn't have the player versus player thing. It only had save
Yeah.
the world, which I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I can dig this. And sure enough, it's like, yeah, that Marshmallow concert looked like if you were to walk up to a concert venue, except for it's interactive. So you're doing have a bunch of people doing the dance things and shuffles or whatever they call these dance now.
Mhm.
And it's way more interactive. So it was like, okay, it's cool for that. But going forward, I was like, where was the advertisement for this? Like,
Mm.
like if I didn't just stumble across it or whatever, like, did they promote this or did you even know this was a thing?
I saw something for this on Google, like a few things. Went,
For the
okay.
Marshmallow one or for the Travis Scott one?
Travis Scott,
Oh,
not
okay.
Marshmallow. Marshmallow was a thing, and it was like, oh, all right, cool.
think
I
maybe
thought
that was
Dead
the
Mouse
thing.
did one.
Did
Sorry.
Oh.
I thought
Randy,
he
you look-
did. I could
Randy,
be
you look
wrong.
like you got something to say.
No,
He
I'm just
researches.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm looking to see what the numbers were for this event and then what the other ones were.
So this isn't actually the first title to do this. There's also another mobile game called War of Tanks. I don't know if you guys have heard.
Yeah.
Oh, they
heard
did
that
one?
Okay.
Yeah,
War
they're one of the
Tanks
free-to-play models.
had a special Offspring tank. The Offspring, pretty fly for a white guy. They had a special tank for them, and there was an in-game concert of the band. So they've even jumped on, and they're on that bandwagon too.
Isn't
New
War of
guy.
Tanks like in a World War I or II setting?
And it's just
It's
tanks. dude.
they're just tanks, and it uses the free-to-play model.
Oh,
They're a company
okay.
based out in Emeryville. I think they just call it War of, and they have like War of Planes, War of
All right.
whatever.
Because I would think Offspring would stand out in a setting of World War II, but whatever.
I mean, they're just tanks.
Too.
I mean, tanks. They have tanks from a generation, so you can pick a tank and whatnot. It's not just World
Okay.
War II.
All right. Okay.
I guess
I
I know
World
like
War
one
I
person
to
that plays it.
on.
I think another cool aspect they have going for these sort of things is the fact that, old concerts back in the days, if you didn't have like all the advertising, it was word of mouth. and it was like that whole underground, almost like the days of grunge kind of thing going on. It was way more popular because it was like, this is our niche. Not everyone's invited. This is our scene.
Yeah.
And
You know,
it
it's
feels
funny.
like Fortnite
It's funny
touches.
that you bring up grunge too, because that also recently made a return. Post
Okay.
Malone actually did a benefit concert on YouTube Live for the World Health Organization, and it was a bunch of Nirvana songs. And "Smells Like Teen Spirit" wasn't on there, which is the greatest Nirvana thing you can do.
Wait,
You know-
he did
It
not do
wasn't?
that?
It wasn't.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay.
You know why I think that's probably why I think he probably did not include that song. We were just watching a list of artists that
they didn't like their
didn't
songs.
like their own songs, and that was one of them for Nirvana.
Yeah, Kurt
But when you're
Cobain
doing a
hated that
tribute
song.
for Nirvana, why would you include one of the songs that they hated? You know
The
what I mean?
only
Makes
one,
sense.
the only one that gets a pass is "Smells Like Nirvana" by Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird
That's a
Al's
parody.
amazing.
That's a parody song. That's
It's
not,
amazing.
like,
It
it's
is,
good,
but can he count that? I can't imagine Post Malone doing a cover of that.
Dude,
Oh, no.
he does a really good job of the covers that he does. Like he doesn't jump into the like the hits. Like the first song that he starts off with is Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge from the In Utero album.
Okay.
Ooh.
yeah.
So that's how he starts. It's not even like, oh, well, we're gonna do Heart Shaped Box first. No, he jumped into the more obscure stuff, which I thought was really cool.
All right.
Wow.
Neat.
And I highly recommend anybody check it out. I remember watching an interview of Post Malone where he came out and he said, I don't really do hip hop. I kind of just create music and I put it out there. So it's
Good.
just how I'm currently feeling. So I think when a lot of the general audience heard like Post Malone's going to do rock and roll music, what? Like it was like, what's this hip hop guy? What's this rapper guy doing in this world? But it's just like, no,
I'm open
man.
to it.
He just likes what he likes and he does what he does, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm open to
Never
it.
know.
I mean, think about like Run DMC working with Aerosmith.
Yeah.
That track is dope.
Oh man. And that was considered revolutionary too.
God, Ice-T has Ice-T,
Death Count.
like I think has Death Count.
No, it's called Body Count.
Body
Or
count.
is it Body
Thank
Count?
you. Body
Okay,
count.
sure.
Yeah, it is body
Yeah.
count.
Yeah, no, Body
Sure.
Count. I have their album, so I know.
All right, cool. Badass, Randy. Thank you.
So
Yeah,
so
they
my
actually
question
out-
to you
they're
guys
out-
is what artist would you love to see make an appearance in a video game? And would you want to see it in the concert form or would you want to see it in the abstract of the universe in itself?
Huh.
Okay.
Now let me throw some moments where like musician celebrities showed up in a video game. Do you guys remember the True Crime game?
Yeah.
So True Crime Streets of LA had the code where you could play as Snoop.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
And Snoop did recordings for it as well. So, you know, it wasn't just the character skin. Snoop was actually there. And then True Crimes New York City had it was a brief cameo, but they also made him unlockable. Redman was in the game.
Oh.
And Redman was talking to one of the criminals that you were going after because he was trying to get like I think knockoff products that look so real. So he didn't realize that the guy was into other stuff, so he kind of just bails as soon as he shows up on camera.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So in that sense, it was within the universe of the game. Redman was there, Snoop was there. But like, do you want to see a virtual concert in another video game that gets updated daily or something?
Honestly, like I know when Cyberpunk 77, like one of the first big trailers had come out for it, people were speculating that Lady Gaga was one of the people that was in there as a character, and it was
dope.
proven, or like basically it was kind of confirmed that it wasn't. But since that was like kind of like a speculated thing, I like have thought about it. I'm like, that would actually be really cool.
It would make total sense for her to be in it.
You know?
I could see that. I could totally see that. Now, would you like to see her as a character, or would you like to see her like perform a show?
Like both.
totally be doable. She'd be a character in there. Like, what game did it or whatever that they were part of the game. You could totally play the game without ever interacting with it. But it Grand Theft Auto, was it 4? Where they had Cat Williams and
right.
I'm blanking on his name. The British guy.
Yeah, he was on the original Office.
Office, yeah.
Gervais, was it Ricky Gervais?
Ricky Gervais, yes.
Ricky Gervais. Yeah,
you could go into a club on a date. You can sit there and watch the whole thing.
They're doing their 15-minute bit. I was like, wow, you can just sit here and watch
that too.
So yeah, you can totally do that. The artists doing what they do, and it's an option. You can just run into them. They're part of the world.
Right on. I would like to have seen, and apparently they're going to try to bring it back. I don't know if it's associated with the same one, but apparently there's going to be a skateboarding game coming out in the near future. I don't know if it's done from the same team at EA. I know it's not done by Activision because the studios that they had there basically closed down that did them. But I always felt like that would have been like the perfect place to do an in-game concert for.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about the EA property Skate? Skate 1?
I don't think it's them. But because it was just a quick brief view that I saw, but apparently there is a new skateboarding game coming out, and I would say
it's called Skater XL. It's originally it was a mobile game, but it's moved on through Steam, and it's actually going to show up on the Switch soon.
So when the Tony Hawk games came out, they had a lot of licensed music. It was one of the first few games that had licensed music that rang perfectly for the setting that they were trying to do, and I feel like that would be the same today. Skating still has a very much punk rock feel to it, and just being able to pull out some of the old punk bands to come back and do a live, a stage that revolves around them. I could totally see Bad Religion doing something.
Dude.
Yeah, that would be so rad. So I'd love to see something like that, and it doesn't have to be in the confines of the game. Just being there and being able to perform the music, like if the music's playing in the background, then the band shows up and they play, and then if it's another song, there's nobody on the stage. That'd be pretty cool.
I would put 2 and 2 together here because they're halfway there. When you go to turn on your PlayStation 4, you have the option of playing Spotify now on there,
That's true.
Playing music in the background. Just have the two worlds meet.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool. What about you guys, Sean? Any bands that you can think of? Any artists?
Well, let's see. I can think of a few games where some musical artists showed up in a video game. The one you challenged Rock Rage to, Def Jam. Pick one.
Yeah,
Redman, Method Man, Snoop.
Flavor Flav.
No music video, sure, but I guess
DMX was in the first one.
I can't imagine a concert happening in anything like that. I mean, I can't imagine Silent Hill. What was it? The fourth Silent Hill game where Korn was doing the official music video or the official music for that, and it was oh, Jesus Christ! But and I can't imagine their music video being in that game. That would still kind of blow. I have a joke choice of Sia being in any kind of My Little Pony video game where it's I can be the rainbow or some shit.
Man, you took it into a different direction with that one.
Put that in Fighting Herds for some them's Fighting Herds, that fighting game. Yeah, that'd be great. But I mean, I don't have any real choices or even
still though something
anything
to think
substantial.
About.
Sure.
You put it out there, and it's just like I said, it went in a completely different direction than what I thought you would have said.
Yeah, no, I'm all over the place.
All right, Raddy, can you think of any?
As far as artists that would perform in something,
or be within the universe of the game too.
I just because of how their music is, I'd probably want to see. I don't know, someone my son he's been introducing me all these different songs that he hears because he listens to my Spotify account in his room, and so he just looks up randomly. He watches all these shows he watches The Masked Singer and listens to all this stuff, so he knows these songs. And sometimes I don't know who that is. Like I had no idea who Doja Cat was, and like she apparently is this really girl who sings these fun songs that are also very sad. And it's like, oh,
I
can
have one of
imagine
her
that.
tracks on my playlist.
Yeah, it's
What
like
is it?
oh, I imagine her name's Doja Cat, Doja.
Yeah, Doja Cat.
Doja Cat, and there's like really fun they have upbeat tracks, but they're also some of them are also really sad. So it's that like kind of 80s pop style. Where it's like, oh, it's a really sad love song, but sung in an upbeat manner. I can actually imagine that appearing, like having it be a background, like let's say like in Smash Brothers.
What the
Just have her in
hell?
the background. Just have her
Okay,
in the
I
background.
guess. Yeah. I
There's-
got it.
There's one
playing
more
there.
artist that I forgot that was in a video game. Twisted Metal 4 had Rob Zombie in it.
That it did.
Ah.
Yep.
Oh, or
I mean,
what about Doom and have like Five Finger Death Punch or somebody like?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And like in
Just
the original,
have it in the background.
well, in
just
the
in the
original,
background,
one of the
while
original
things-
Dooms had a level that had a 9 Inch Nails
Dude,
emblem in it because the developers
Awesome.
were really big fans of them.
Yes.
Ooh, that would be good. Just the concert while you're just blowing shit up and like killing zombies, ripping them apart. It was just,
Why not? You know?
Yes.
yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Have you guys seen the one made doing the crossover of Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal?
Yes.
I've seen so many pictures of that.
The
Oh,
video, it's actually a really dope video, and the song's good. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna totally
so
give
cool.
them money for this song. It's like, oh, this is really sweet. Hell yeah. And then it's a good mix of the music from Animal Crossing Horizon and Doom Eternal, like perfectly.
That
Damn,
is
So,
legit.
what's that?
So the
What?
world of video games and music are coming together. Like new mediums are being
It's
created.
happened before.
It's happened
I mean,
before, but I
really.
think it's becoming more prevalent now because of this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the one I would throw out there, even though it would probably be cool, but pay me at the same time to see it. Like me personally, I would probably go like either like Eminem
Hmm.
or I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. I don't know why I'm blanking on it right now. Probably like let's say Eminem in the background of like a Mortal Kombat setting. Just one of his old school like Marshall Mathers LP freaking covers, just doing on there.
I don't know if you
Well,
guys remember the band Edema.
What is it?
Oh no, I
Edema?
remember Edema. I have
Edema?
Edema.
Oh,
Edema.
Edema.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a Mortal Kombat music video.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I think the song was
Ow.
called Immortal, and Scorpion was in it.
Which, by the way,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you guys check that out. What were you saying? Kyle?
Yay! Awesome.
are you trying to segue?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't. I literally wasn't, but I guess I might as well.
You do that a lot.
By the way, oh, I have one more.
Okay. What you
Okay,
got?
What happened?
Hobson in
Oh,
the
there you
new Watch Dogs video game.
Who?
Oh yeah.
Who was
There
it?
we go.
Hobson?
Hobson.
Oh. Huh. Yeah, I didn't play it, so I didn't know.
No, you're good.
Yeah, apparently a lot of others didn't either.
Aw, I
well.
only played the second one because the second one was really good, and I'm actually really excited for the third one. So,
Nice, definitely.
anyways,
All right.
Cool
continue.
beans, cool beans. I wasn't trying to segue, Sean. Actually, I wanted to bring up really quickly, and then I guess
Okay.
we'll segue after. But I did want to bring up, because we didn't get to talk about it on the last podcast, but there is the return of Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's analyze something here really quickly.
What, Slater is the coolest dude ever?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe, but that's not what I was trying to analyze. So
Okay.
if you look back at any of the sitcoms that came out in the 90s and how they've aged, in this day and age, do you think that stuff would fly? And
No.
I'll answer that right off the bat as no either.
Mm.
I will
I mean,
say
it depends on the sitcom. It depends on the sitcom you're talking about.
There's a couple of sitcoms
Like-
that can carry over,
like-
I think.
I mean, like
Um,
Friends is standing the test of time to the point where my niece, who's significantly younger than I am, was bummed that it was that they took it off of Netflix.
the Netflix.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
and
and it's
you
like,
know,
oh,
the
guess
fact
what's
that
gone? I'm like,
Netflix-
I got wins. I'm like, what?
the fact that Netflix also spent a tons of money to get Seinfeld,
Yeah.
it does show that you are correct. There are some titles in the 90s
Yeah.
that did very well.
Hmm.
But when we look at shows like, case in point, Saved by the Bell, it's really hard to say, like, well, wow, they're really going to bring that back?
Hmm.
What a funny tidbit about it is that one of the writers of I think it was a College Humor show. It was called Zach Morris's Trash.
Sure.
And it is basically that. It is where they analyze episodes, and they're really quick. They're like maybe 5-minute videos of Zach Morris just being this skeevy, nasty, disgusting character. Back in the 90s, we can look at that and we can laugh. And then we look in this day and age, it's just like, what an asshole.
Yeah. I don't know why it's such a shock to you guys. I mean, like, oh, is that more? No.
Well,
Nick.
it's one of those things where when you look at it as a kid and then you look at it as an adult, you're just like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Like another perfect example is, I don't know why I have a pen in my hand. How dare you? You behave, young man. Don't make me get the ruler.
You aged 10 years in 10 minutes there, you man.
Yeah.
Of an old man in a young man's body. That's what it is. 65-year-old man over here. When you look at shows, and again, maybe not in the same vein because it's not necessarily a sitcom, it was a cartoon show, but you look at Animaniacs as a kid and you laugh at all the slapstick comedy that was in there, and then you watch it again as an adult and you're like, fuck, dude, there was a lot of adult humor on this.
And it was great then, and it's great now.
It's an incredible thing now. Like, my favorite one was where he goes, Dot, go look for fingerprints. And then she comes back, she goes, I found Prince. And she's holding Prince in her hands.
Yeah.
No, fingerprints. And she's just like, I'm not doing that. And she just tosses them out. And like Prince does this whole...
For that, my favorite was when you find out that Yakko is the heir to Anne Valania, and his their assistant goes up to him and says, "Sire," and Yakko looks at him and goes, "Sorry, not right now. I'm busy." And I was like, "Oh man, that." Like, I laugh, and my sister, who's a lot younger than I am, was like, what's so funny? I'm like, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Like, and you know what? Let's give
oh.
Wacko his due diligence. There's the one where they're in a classroom, and they're playing a Jeopardy-like game, and he gets the daily double, and she goes, "Would you like to just go for the amount that was originally on the board, or do you want to try to double your money?" And he goes, "I'm gonna blow the wad." Oh, wow.
Nope, not at all.
A credit to the writers on that show is that they made a point to make sure that there was humor that's funny on both ends. Like, the kids might not know why that's funny, but it'll be a silly term for them to
right, like, because the parents are watching too, and they want their parents to enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
it's not anything where I was saying is that's not like there's nothing. I have no problem showing that cartoon to my child. I have no issue with it because there are going to be jokes that it's good for me, good for him, because it's not, it's going to go over them and they're not going to know what's going on. It's not a huge deal. I think the problem with Saved by the Bell is that the things they do there, it's just in general terrible. Like, I never thought, oh, Zach Morris isn't trash. I mean, he's like the dastardly guy on campus who's always on the come up. That is no secret. It just happens that people focused on him being like the lead character. So it's like, oh, yeah, he always wins. And to be quite honest, there's a lot of things I thought that he did were terrible. There's a lot of things that I went, God damn it, I wish I was Zach Morris.
Like,
time out. Yeah, hell yeah. And there's also good things he does. He's also like not always.
Yeah, of course. Like it does, but he's primarily
also
show
selfish.
on the dark side of it. But yeah, there's also episodes where he's actually a pretty chill dude.
We are dimensional characters.
Yeah, but it. So my question to you regarding this is, what show would you like to see, you watchers, and you and you and you, because I'm in the upper right corner. Maybe not when this comes out, but this is how I sees it.
Yeah.
What show from the 90s would you like to see brought back as far as a continuation, not a reboot where they recast everybody and they tell some, like, like it's been 30 years. These people are now 30 years older. Let's see where they're at.
Question.
Shoot.
Does it have to be live action?
No.
Okay.
Show.
All right.
What
That opens it
continuation
up way
would you
better.
like to see from the 90s in particular? Let's say that.
Sweet. Okay.
I was about to say, I'm thinking back now, like, oh, all these shows I love. Wait, they are bringing them back, or they did bring them back.
Yeah.
I was
some
totally
point in time.
first one I thought of live action wise was Boy Meets World, and then I was like, wait, they did bring that back.
Yeah, Girl Meets
Yeah,
World.
and ended it.
Yeah, they.
Yeah.
3 seasons.
I
I
still
would
came
say
back.
Darkwing-
Still back.
Wait, still came back. Yeah, you're right.
Darkwing Duck.
I was about to say that. Mhm.
That's kind of coming back in DuckTales, but
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
Oh, is it?
DuckTales.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, they brought it back through DuckTales. Like they actually have the characters come back. Yeah, they actually
For real.
bring they show the origin of the new origin of Negaduck, and they do all kinds
And
of
Darkwing Duck, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, Darkwing Duck's in there.
So we
There's
have
foul agents in there's foul agents in DuckTales.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the new DuckTales series, get on it. It's really
Yeah,
good.
it's a great show.
It's actually really good.
Randy Kings, what show from the 90s would you want to be back? Not as a reboot, but like as a
Uh,
continuation.
I don't know what year did that come out in. I was like California Dreams. I totally want to see these people in their almost late 40s trying to get their band back together.
Sounds like the remake for the Blues Brothers movies. Ugh.
And then I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many of the shows I like have already like started to bring them back or did.
California
some form of
Dreams
it.
is a good choice, though.
I don't know if I'd want to see any more of that though, because that one I'm like, can we get their kids in it? Because these guys are really old now.
Yeah, really old. No, I get it.
Okay.
Dude walking around in a quote unquote beach crew with a black leather jacket.
Oh God.
Oh my God, bro, bro, what are you doing here? There was a cartoon series that never got an actual ending, and I'm trying to figure out what year it came out, but it was
Botsmaster?
actually Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
Dungeons and
that's it.
Dragons never got a real ending.
Oh.
It was there. They got stuck in that world, and I don't think they ever actually finished it. Let me just see here.
So it picks up 40 years later, and they finally get home.
Oh
They're
no.
like, nope, they're stuck.
Dear God,
they're
the
stuck in
Tomb of
this place.
Annihilation. I'll never do that again.
Oh,
They're
You
like,
remember
oh, they're
Schultz?
in a
The
trap.
dinosaurs? It's bullshit. Why did we do that?
Yeah.
Fucking goblins.
PTSD.
Why? I do miss my pet Triceratops, though.
Oh.
Aww.
That is a
So while Randy's
yeah.
looking it up, Sean, any shows that you can think of?
live action. Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I mean,
Step
we
by
might as well throw
step.
in cartoons in there too.
I can. I'm gonna. Step by step, because a lot of the chicks in there were hot, and
There's some
Dana.
weird stuff going on by there. There's some
The actress
weird
who
stuff
played
going on
Dana,
there.
she became a lawyer in real life.
Oh.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a lawyer.
yeah, she is still hot.
The second oldest daughter from Suzanne Summerside. Apparently, she is Crazy Town. So much so,
I
that,
believe that
like,
she looks
they
crazy
didn't-
town.
they didn't want to work with her anymore. Like she started this really cool, not really cool, but she wanted to start this program where she wanted to protect young child actors from parents stealing their money, like what happened to Macaulay Culkin, where
Yeah.
his management. She was trying to protect them because she thought that was the same thing was happening to her. Turns out,
happen,
not
right?
true.
Oh.
No, it's none of that at all. Where basically her manager told her that her parents were taking her money, but because she was still a minor, they were like setting it aside. Mind you, I believe, if I'm mistaken, she comes from a well-off family, so it's not like they needed it, and that basically she hasn't worked a lot, and that people who walk, what's her name, Stephanie Keegan, I think is the actress who plays Dana. She and a couple of the other actors try to get a hold of her just to see like how they're doing, and she is crazy town. Like,
Oh,
like,
cocaine's a hell of a drug. Got it.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if drugs is in it, but that she might be just full of herself. And
Okay.
Not.
Well, then the youngest daughter
Yeah.
on what is it? Whatever Platt's, whatever the dude's, the dad's side, she was really hot, and you see her in some things here and there. And,
Her name was Al, right, on the show?
yeah,
Alex.
something.
That was
Alex,
the show for
yeah.
Alex, but she went by Al.
Yeah,
'Cause she was
yeah,
a
she was
tomboy.
hot, so that's cool. All right, that's my live action choice. Cartoons. I'm just gonna go old school and go Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, that was an awesome cartoon.
Yeah, it was. and the theme song made it even better. So yeah, that was cool. That is my
King
pick.
Arthur and the Knights.
King
of the
Arthur
Round
and the
Table?
Knights
Knights
of
of
Knights of the
King
Round
Arthur and
Table or
the
Knights of
No, sorry,
Justice.
it's the Knights of Justice.
Yeah, there we go.
I
That's,
forgot
Thank you.
about
That
show.
one. That one. All right, cool. I'm done.
For
10
sitcom,
times 10.
I'd love to see Family Matters.
Sure.
Where it follows Steve
That's
and Laura.
happening though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So here's how I want it. I know it's
Give it
probably
time.
but it's
Oh well, I don't think that's confirmed.
Steve and Laura, and it's their family, and it's them growing their family, and he having his Urkel. Like now he has the pest teenager next door, and he just I'll say reamed, not in the sense of like the kid is malicious, but everything that he put Carl through, he gets it like tenfold.
Maybe.
Oh man.
And like
how do you irritate Steve Urkel though?
You get into it. You start going.
How's that possible?
Here's how you do it. You start getting into the inventions that Steve tried to hide and put away. So it's like Steve has to clean up the mess that he leaves because he snuck in and he used this Tragmog fire machine or something. You know.
I mean, even Steve Urkel's inventions were like not really based in reality. I mean, he had a machine that made him cooler. He had a robot of himself.
Stefan Urkel. Get it right.
This is a made up family on a made up show, Sean. So what does it matter?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Family Matters was pretty real right up until Steve Urkel started making time machines. And
if
shit
anybody remembers that, when Urkel came on, god damn it. When Urkel came on,
caught it. I caught it. Don't worry, guys, I caught it.
No, yeah, it's bad continuity. That's a blue pen. I was black. And now I don't have my pen to write my notes. Sean's right. Like when it first came out, it was actually a spin-off, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
Perfect Strangers.
It was supposed to be the idea of an African American family living the dream, having success, because at the time there wasn't a lot of positive representation of African American communities, and this was supposed to show it. And you're right, it had the values. I feel like Sean's gonna kill me the way he was looking at the camera there for a second.
No, I was looking at my sword.
So, God, here we go with the goddamn sword again.
Okay, go ahead.
You mean your letter opener?
Yeah.
My Sekiro letter opener, yes.
And then
go ahead.
And then Urkel showed up, and Urkel was such a huge hit, and then it just became bonkers. Which, by the way, would also be another '90s cartoon that I'd bring back.
Yeah, that was good. Shit show.
That was an awesome show. So yeah, for my pick, I'll say Family Matters, and for cartoon, you know what? Actually, I take back. I don't want bonkers. I want a continuation of Ronin Warriors.
Ooh,
that
we
was
talked
a
about
great
that
show.
before.
I want to see more of that. Like there's got to be a new big bad at this point. You know. All right. So now we segue, Sean.
Okay, cool. That was a really long
with
segment. All right, cool.
The Mortal Kombat animated movie that just came out, Mortal Kombat: Scorpion's Revenge. It was Scorpion's Revenge, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it's a retelling of Mortal Kombat 1, and instead of Liu Kang being the protagonist, even though he is still like the hero of Earthrealm, it actually follows along more to Scorpion and him trying to avenge the death of his wife, his child, and his clan. So it's kind of shown in that perspective. They use the voice actor from Mortal Kombat 11.
Cool. Good.
Which I thought was a great choice. He was a great voice actor. What I was really hoping was that they were going to bring back all the voice actors from the video game to come and do the cartoon, because I thought that was where they nailed it as far as the characters. Just absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, they didn't. But we get this retelling, which is, believe it or not, the third retelling of the series.
Yeah.
Because Mortal Kombat 9 was the one that they rebooted it. So this is another one. And what you would expect from a Mortal Kombat game, you pretty much see on this one. Decapitations, pulling of skeletons, ripping off limbs. Lots and like it's Red Band all the way.
Shit's getting done. Yeah.
But I give credit to Warner Brothers Animation. Whenever it's animated stuff, they do really good work. There's a couple of misses out there. I'm not saying they're perfect, but a lot of their stuff is really good. And Mortal Kombat: Scorpion's Revenge is no different. They do a really good job with the animation. They do a really good job of setting the tone of the entire thing. Now, this is a question that was presented by Randy Kings. For video game adapted anything, do you think it would be better for the video games to be adapted more into animation than live action? Or any, and I'll even add on, or any other type of medium. We'll start with 10 times 10s on this one. What do you guys think?
Ooh, that's a hard one because now I think with it being the age of technology that we have, we're way more capable of achieving certain things as far as if you want to go far right to gore, or if you want to go far left to these unbelievable machinery or unbelievable magic that you can display. But the problem is, now that we see a lot more of that being able to be done on film or television, stuff like that, the writing is not as tight.
Yeah.
And then it's like you don't care anymore. It don't carry as much weight as, like, for example, in Mortal Kombat. You know, back in the day, we would love to see the first official cartoon of Mortal Kombat have that blood and gore, but they couldn't do it. There wouldn't been no way that would have made it on television. Now you can find a platform to do it with animation, but now it's like, all
HBO.
right, it's a little bit too late, but at the same time too, it's like, all right, what story are you going with? Are you going with this version of Scorpion's backstory, or are you going with the rebooted storytelling of this? Like, why are we even now? Because Mortal Kombat going forward is a blank slate because of the way the ending of 11 happened.
Really quick, I did mistake it. It's actually Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. Just so that we can get it right in case anybody does end up looking it up. It's Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge.
I almost feel like with, like, probably the best people to handle something like that would be like the amazing writers that are doing the, like, DC animated series and whatnot, because, like, they've been making really tight stories. Like, you're gonna need, like, creative geniuses like that in order to be able to pull it off, I think.
Till it gets to film.
So would you say animation then, as far as, like, transitioning from a video game into another medium?
I would say animation.
I say animation.
Yeah, honestly, because I'm like, I understand the appeal of making it live action, but then, like, you risk falling into, like, the Avengers complex, you know, or like how, like, the MCU, like, tends to hang very heavily on CG and everything, and very action heavy sequences. And even though, yeah, like, the story is really fun and everything like that, it doesn't have a whole lot of depth. So I don't know.
Basically, live action, you see too many limitations. Like, you hit that wall eventually.
Well, yeah, because then the other thing too is wanting to get, from a Hollywood standpoint or a production standpoint, you're wanting to get names out there. So you're wanting to cast people that, you know, like, names that people are going to recognize in order to actually have your film or whatever perform well at the box office. And when you do that, I feel like you make the entire project suffer, because you're trying to get these certain people on screen as much as possible instead of actually focusing on the content of the story.
Very insightful. You're absolutely right about that. It's one of those things where it's just like, we have this actor, we should definitely this should be our poster boy, so we need to get him as much screen time as humanly possible.
Well, it was like with Wolverine's X-Men Origins Wolverine, when I heard Ryan Reynolds was going to be Deadpool, and I went, of course you get that guy. That's perfect. Of course we're not going to see the suit, because Ryan Reynolds is a good-looking dude, and they're not going to use his face. Mm-hmm. And, like, over a decade later, we got the Deadpool that we deserved, because Ryan Reynolds realized, yeah, you don't need to see my face. We can totally, which they did do that, like, for the first 20 minutes. You see Ryan Reynolds, he goes through the transformation, and then back to Deadpool. I'm like, oh, there you go. That's what we got. Yep. But yeah, I totally see what your point on that is. That it's tough, because with live action there is a limitation, budget constraints and whatnot. For video games especially, it's easier with animation. You don't have actual physical limitations to deal with it. Now, mind you, it's not always going to be hits. Like, sure. I remember when I watched the Ratchet and Clank movie, I was actually really excited about it until I watched it and went, I wish I was playing the video game. Like I think we
Video
talked
games
about it
so
years
much
ago.
better.
Well, because I played the video game and they use the same everything, pretty much
Exactly.
the same storyline. It's like the video game is like the deleted scenes essentially, where you're gonna actually interact with it. And when I'm watching the movie, all I want to do is like, okay, can I press X to skip this cutscene?
Yes.
And you
Hold
can't.
X to skip scene.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not that, and it's not bad. It looks great. It was a okay story, but my interaction with it wasn't good. Now that's the issue you'll have with video game anything. It's like, oh, how does it interact with how will it be perceived by the people who are viewing it? You know, like there's some movies that I thought were really good that were based on video games. Like I liked the first Silent Hill movie. I thought it was really cool when things were going. And I was gauged at my experience with movie or properties like that with I have my sister-in-law who I'm close with. She watches these but never plays video games, but appreciates when they're really cool and really likes Silent Hill. So it's like, okay, this is okay. But then, you also get movies like House of the Dead, which was like, let's throw a rave on an island and then zombies break out. And like, oh, why'd this happen? Ooh, Ebola made this. Dang it. So
yeah,
I mean, for me.
Sorry, Randy. I didn't want to cut you off. What was that?
I was gonna say like, just aside, I like the premise. At least depending on the type of game, because it doesn't have to be a fancy CG, or like CG animation, or even necessarily hand drawn. But whatever the property is, I think whatever medium you want to go to, that's what it should work out. Like if they made it in a Kami movie, I wouldn't necessarily want it to be a live action film. I think it would do better doing like hand drawn animation or something that would mimic it in a
hand drawn animation.
So it'd be like, oh yeah, this would look cool if they did it that way.
Nice.
Now, if I wanted to see anything else, I'm trying to think of another game property that would work well. Like, would I want to see Uncharted as a animated medium, whether it be CG or hand drawn? I don't still pull in for a live action on that, but I don't know. We'll see. It works out.
And Sean, go ahead.
Go ahead.
There was a live action Scorpion in about 2010 called Mortal Kombat Rebirth, but this probably kills what?
I was going to talk about that one.
All right. Because that fight scene between him and Scorpion with the rope dart and everything, I'm like, this is dope. This is dope, and I want more of this in my body.
Okay,
so yeah.
Let me just explain it really quick. What you're talking about is Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mortal Kombat Legacy. This is what I was really talking about, Mortal Kombat Rebirth, like 2010.
Yeah, so what happened was it was Legacy, which was a what's that called?
Well,
I guess
Legacy
series.
Concept, yes.
Yeah, it was like a concept thing, yeah.
So that they could
there was like a Raiden, there was a Johnny Cage, and I
and then it got picked up. I don't know by who, but somebody started sponsoring it, and then we got, as you mentioned, Mortal Kombat Rebirth. And I'll get into it too, but I want you to get your say on this.
Yeah, I think this cartoon kind of trumps like whatever is canon, because I guess NetherRealm likes to screw with their canon a little bit, which is fine, I guess, because there's a billion Mortal Kombats and we all love them. It's like, what's canon? I don't know. Fuck it. Let's just have fighting games.
Okay.
Fighting games are amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I haven't seen it though. I haven't seen Legacy. I've just saw Rebirth. That was it. But I'm pretty sure that there's like death and dismemberment and people ripping faces off.
It was a web. Rebirth was the pitch idea. Rebirth was their pitch idea, and then it turned into Mortal Kombat Legacy, which was a web series through what's that web channel that got canceled that did everything for like Halo and Street Fighter.
Machinima?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what that was part of. Yeah, they were all part of that. And then that's what they considered like the sequel. They even like changed a couple things from the not to change, but they had like 2 seasons for Legacy, and they changed a couple of things. Like Johnny Cage was 2 different guys from one season to the next.
I was bummed with that because for the concept, and then for the first season they used Matt Mullins, who was a badass stuntman.
Yeah.
And he has acting chops too. So it's just like they found Johnny Cage. And what was even funny about it too was that he provided the studio with some of the martial arts events that he would go to where he won awards and trophies and whatnot as the story of Johnny Cage, John Carlton. Which I was like, dude, that's cool.
Well, what got me was that the second they used was, I think it was Casper Van Dien was the actor they had,
I think
because it was like that.
so.
It was really weird. I was like, why'd they change it? That's
And
so
that guy,
weird.
and that guy didn't have any like fighting experience or anything, did he?
No,
But
and
he's
they're not saying that
just
you didn't.
pretty. Shut up. Yeah, I know.
Pretty enough. Pretty enough to be in it. Maybe the other dude was available. I don't know. But I actually like those the legacy, because they were like little vignette stories. They were really well made,
Right.
and that's kind of what it was. Realistically, it was there to re-spark interest in Mortal Kombat.
Which
Because
is to
they've
me
gone through a lot.
goes into the reason why I think it doesn't necessarily have to be an animation when it comes down to the conversion of video games into a different medium. But, and I think I've mentioned this before, but to have it as a series, as something that they're able to let boil, simmer, and start building into a big epic thing is probably the best way to go. When it comes down to the conversions of this, especially with at this point in time, a lot of the people that are fans, that do these are fans of the series. Like, these series have been around for quite a long time, and they've been able to follow them and grow into them, and been able to produce some really cool things. Case in point, Mortal Kombat Rebirth and Mortal Kombat Legacy. Those people were fans of it. There was another one, if you guys remember, Street Fighter Assassin's Fist.
Yeah, there's that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the telling story of Ken and Ryu as teenagers learning from Gouken, while also trying to worry about Goki. Akuma, for those who are not in the know, tells this incredible story, and again, it builds it out, and it even kind of throws you a bit of a curveball in the series where it looks like it'll actually be Ken that succumbs to the Satsui no Hado, the evil energy, like, because he starts doing some of the stances and whatnot. So there was enough change on things to where they were able to do some really cool side stories. Like, they even brought up Ken's dad, who was a recovering
they're keeping
alcoholic.
it fresh.
Like, he was an alcoholic, and which was why he sent Ken away, so that he can recover and get himself clean, instead of it just like, oh, Ken's this rebellious kid, which he was, but that wasn't the only reason. And then you find out, oh, Ken's dad was a boxer, and there's the training montage that he does with
A good
Ken and Ryu.
boxer, yeah.
Like these really cool things. And these were all created by people who love the series. Like, you look at the Mortal Kombat movies that we have now, whether it's the animation of the series, the Street Fighters, and then let's go back to the 90s and see what we got when it came to those. The Street Fighter movie was given to a guy who had no business having it whatsoever. The Mortal Kombat movie, while it wasn't bad, was very, very cheesy, because it was aimed at the younger audience, despite the fact that it was, people's heads popping off. We didn't see that anywhere in the movie, The cartoons that we got, the ones that were on USA, so cheesy, because again, it was the cash grab. It was trying to add money to what was already making money. Now we're at an age where we can actually work on something, and we're not constricted to have the 90-minute to 105-minute
runtime
for movies. You can actually create a series and let it slow burn and build. Like, a great example is The Witcher. Nobody thought too much about it getting a series going for it, and then Netflix was like, here it is, and it's just like, whoa,
dude,
like, this is amazing, because you have the time to spread out the stories and touch up on things that nobody would realize. Like, in the first Mortal Kombat movie, Scorpion and Sub-Zero were henchmen to Shang Tsung. That was it. You never really got a reason as to why that happened. It was, and it was a way to shove the characters into the movie.
What were you gonna say about that, Lynn? You look like you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, back in the days, like, where the movies came out, and even into the TV shows and the competitiveness between live action and animation. Big problem was animation cost too much at that time.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, cost a ton of money then.
Yeah, and so it was way easier to make something that was live action, depending on how big the project was. And that's why, like, I almost piggybacks off of what we talked about before, where we're like, oh, these live action television shows came about because, it became too much to make Gargoyles and Aladdin and Darkwing Duck or whatever. It was a lot cheaper for them to make live action, pay the actors to play out these little things. Now we're reaching a pinnacle where both can be costly depending on how big the project is. And now it's more of a competing on passion towards the projects. Like, hey, how much do you know about the lore? How much can you connect with the audience and do it with this much of a budget?
That's true.
And we've seen people fail at it and people succeed at it. Even hit middle ground. Like, I think Blade, when it first came out, was a total success despite having all of its issues, but it was one of the most successful comic book movies you could say at its time. And it made even a better sequel, and then it went to crap.
Yeah, that sequel was
Though
bomb.
I love 2.
Yeah, sequel was bomb.
No,
I loved it.
No, 2's the best one.
Yeah, 2's the best one. And then
3's
something
horrible.
happened where Trinity came around where it lost its passion.
Hey, we've got this up-and-coming actor named Ryan Reynolds that we definitely want to put in this movie.
Yeah.
Although I appreciate they tried because
I'm not blaming him, but it's just like kind of like the direction they're trying to put out there.
Yeah.
It's the idea that they put in characters that were also part of the lore of Blade. Because Blade is like, the Night Stalkers. I'm like, oh yeah, the Night Stalkers, they were a group that he was affiliated with. They're members of the Midnight Suns. They were a deep pull though. I was like, oh, they're gonna mention the Night Stalkers? They're okay saying that name because wasn't he a serial killer? I mean, but yeah.
One of.
But yes, I actually enjoy the third movie because I liked what they were trying to do something. Also, you can tell very much so though that just how butthurt Wesley Snipes is making that movie, which is amazing. It's so good. It's like, yep, that's right. You sit there. You could have been
Mr.
cool in the
Snipes,
second
we need
one.
you on set. Mr. Snipes,
No, what's up?
I do not answer by that name. Blade, yes.
Blade.
All right.
Maybe if he was cool, Guillermo del Toro would have came back for the third one. But,
But,
By the way, the second one was my first introduction to Donnie Yen, Snowman.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
bro.
He's dope as
which
fuck.
rumors of his would have been bigger, but some of those fight sequences that Wesley Snipes saw, he's like, I want to do that. I'm like, ooh, what? Yeah, hey, rumor. I'm not gonna say it's 100% true, and Donnie Yen won't comment on things like that because he's a good dude.
Yeah,
But
he
I also don't
he
like.
can
I
kick
heard
your
that. I'm
ass
like,
and
I
break
don't.
your bones, but the sweetest guy in the world.
I don't not believe that. I don't. If someone said, "Oh, Wesley Snipes totally snaked these sequences from Donnie Yen," I'm like, I can believe that. I totally believe that
Absolutely,
part.
yeah, absolutely. So I'll say, as far as like the transition from video games to another medium, if you're going to do it, stream it out. Give something where you can build on something.
You want to do it a series. You want to do a series.
I want a series more than I want a movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not to say that you can't do a movie. There's been some times where they come out pretty good, but that's more often than not, you kind of get something that just gets streamlined because you're just trying to put as much of it as possible and just trying to get it out for that quick cash grab.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong
I
with
would say
that.
cash grab. They're trying to get return. Using cash grab makes it sound like they're just doing this only for money and not necessarily for the art. They're trying to maximize return on investment. Because, you could arguably say that every big IP movie that's been out there has only been a cash grab. Which, if that's the, I mean, not everything's necessarily like that. Just because we want to put it out there. But there are some that are total cash grabs.
I would say that a cheat sheet probably for the industry to go look towards the future with certain projects. Like, for example, 300 based off of the comic book is a great premise for a movie.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to be factual and historical by going there's no way you're going to do that in a movie.
No.
Yeah, from my understanding, in real life, the Persians were actually democratic.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
that big of a nation.
and the Spartans actually still had slaves.
Oh yeah.
Which that was how it was at the time.
Yeah, in real life, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Or even like people like one of my favorite Western movies is Tombstone, which is incredibly inaccurate. Like 2/3 of that movie didn't happen the way it is. Doc Holliday, not necessarily the greatest dudes, and
I'll be your
but
Huckleberry.
is it an entertaining movie? Hell yes, it's an amazing movie. Not accurate factually. Actually, the closest one would be its counterpart, which is the white art film that Kevin Costner did, which is supposed to be more historically accurate, but not as popular and fun because
So
it's not
supposedly one of
fun.
the most accurate movies ever was
Who gives a shit about that? We want to see Tombstone. Yeah, I got you.
My Cousin Vinny.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
My Cousin Vinny.
My cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
Wait,
Really?
was
How
that
does
based
that
on a
even
real-
relate to
No.
Tombstone in any way?
No, but the thing is that so that's the movie that Joe Pesci and Ralph Macchio were in, where
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio's character is accused of murder from a bank or a store robbery. All the things that Joe Pesci's character does is exactly what attorneys would do, and they follow the attorney's code to a T.
Oh,
So,
okay.
So like
Okay,
you
that's
go
what you
into
mean.
other
Okay.
movies or other shows that follow like law practices and how attorneys act. Like there's a guy out there who watches them and then he says like you can't do that because of this article in the Constitution, this and that, this and that. And then he watched My Cousin Vinny and he's just like, that is the most accurate portrayal of a court case in an entertaining fashion that you're gonna get.
Mhm.
Everything that
Yeah.
he does in there is completely accurate to how lawyers are supposed to approach a case. I was
Nice.
just like,
Shit.
the Joe Pesci movie? Really?
Sure.
I'm surprised.
If you're playing
budget
Phoenix
was low
right
enough-
and you're yeah, come on. If you're playing Phoenix right and you're Al hoping for like accuracy and like the law, your bullets. No,
No.
come on now.
Also,
No.
Marissa Tomei was
Well,
on there.
So
well,
yeah.
I was
yeah,
gonna say, well, she was
okay.
yeah,
All right.
but she won an Academy Award for that.
She did.
but-
Did,
Well,
huh?
yes, she did. But I guess when your budget's low enough to where you could hire a consultant, you could spend the money up for a consultant where you're like, oh, yeah. Is this okay? Yeah, it works. Does it work with the story? Yes, it works.
Yeah.
Done.
All right. So I think we've got about maybe 10 more minutes.
Son of a
we gotta
bitch.
call it. You see what happens when we have fun, Sean? When we have fun, we got to end it sooner. So
Well,
you
we
gotta
didn't
be
even
miserable
talk
for the rest
about
of this
the
podcast.
We were talking about bullshit, and then we didn't talk about the Spider-Man Phase 4 Marvel
So let's talk
Studios
about the
thing.
Spider-Man Phase 4 then. We got 10
All
minutes
right,
to do
cool.
so.
Yoo-hoo.
And I wanted to kind of shoot the shit with like 10 times 10, whatever.
Dude,
Just saying.
Then you can call them, Sean. You can go ahead and call them.
Aw.
We'll make it quick then. Fine.
all right, Sean, you are the one who actually brought up the article for Spider-Man. So do you want to go into it?
I kind of briefly saw this video, so I guess
wanna share the
Disney. Ooh,
We can
can
do
I?
that.
All right, so I guess Disney did something with talking about Phase 4 and Marvel and whatnot, and Spider-Man. Oh my God, Phase 4.
While he's looking this up,
Yeah,
I
you
still
talk.
think it's a crime that the Spider-Man movies that are being released by Sony Disney have not used the Ramones Spider-Man opening. They've used other
Really?
Ramones songs, but they have not used the Ramones cover of the Spider-Man theme song from the 1960s. That
Aw.
song slaps
Criminal?
to this day. One of the best Ramones songs out there. They did an awesome job with it, and they refuse to use it.
Why?
Probably
I
licensing
don't
issue.
know.
Hmm.
All right.
Breaks my heart.
Huh. Okay, cool. So let's go. We're gonna share this. All right. So here we go.
Sharing,
Let's just
sharing.
let this go.
Do-do-do.
Yeah, it was kind of that way too. When I
Yeah,
played
I don't know
the,
if we can do
video.
10 minutes of this like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
it
want to
is-
just cut to the meat and potatoes of the whole thing.
Oh,
God, you
hello.
can't hear this, can you?
Sure.
No,
No.
you can turn on the sound though. Stop sharing, and then when you go to share, it'll ask if you want to share the sound too.
There's little boxes on the bottom you can do it. It's gonna be rough though because of the bandwidth.
That
or
was
I can,
right?
Yeah.
see-
Here, I'll share a little more. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay.
All good, all good.
We go. Okay, hold on. You zoom, you son of a bitch. Okay, cool. Here we go. Back to
do
this.
not knock on the Zoom.
They kill me on these videos too. They butter them up with all this old past content
Oh yeah.
to
Mm.
Yeah.
build up all this hype.
So much hype.
Sean, if you want,
Yes.
share the link on the text, and we'll try it on our end.
Oh, right.
Well,
I can
I
do
actually
that.
have one where someone. I actually have a video that's already up.
Oh, go
ready
for
to
it.
go, talking about the
Yes, please
breakdown.
do that.
Let me see. Actually, well, because I was jumping around, because just to get everyone out there who's watching this, this is just a breakdown of what people are speculating for certain things that were announced, like Venom sequel, Tom Holland's interview with Jimmy Kimmel talking about what they want to do for the next phase, especially with Spider-Man being involved. Let me get back. So I got it here.
Mysterio saying, "Yo, Peter Parker, Spider-Man." I'm like,
yeah,
what
that ending. That ending. Okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
do the share sound. We're gonna do this, Mr. Holland.
And it's just chit chatting, I guess, what they're thinking when
well,
do.
they're yeah.
History and like I said, drinking a lot. I actually said this weekend that I was going to stop drinking for a week. I was going to have a week off, and then literally Monday morning, I've got my own prop. Ryan Reynolds sent me a case of gin.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So as I literally was like, this morning I'm not drinking the whole week. I'm not drinking at all. And then literally the doorbell rang, and there was a case of gin from lovely Ryan. So
Lucky
I think
That's
I'll have to drink it.
Deadpool trying to corrupt Spider-Man is what's going
I'm
on
gonna
here.
jump a little bit ahead.
It says here on the.
Which
If I'm
kinda
wrong,
does,
correct me.
actually.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
not sure.
I was in Berlin making a film called Uncharted with Mark Wahlberg, and we were all ready to go. We went to set for day one shooting, and then we got shut down, and we all got sent home. So whether we shoot that movie first or we shoot Spider-Man first, I'm unclear. But I don't know. But both movies are being made, and they're both really strong, and the scripts are fantastic. So whatever happens, happens. But I'm ready to play both. I mean, I've played Spider-Man enough now. I could play him tomorrow. So ready to go.
I'm speaking with Thor tomorrow, and I was wondering if you've been video chatting with your fellow Avengers.
To Jake Gyllenhaal the other day, we were chatting about doing a Peloton class together. We've been trying to get on the same bike and train together. So I look like a complete idiot. And then I actually FaceTimed Downey a couple of days ago.
Gotcha.
But we've also been doing these pub quizzes. These
Okay,
brothers
here
have
we go.
been.
Video, as you can see, Tom Holland just went on Jimmy Kimmel to make a couple announcements about the movie, talk about some funny moments with Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds in real life, so we'll break it all down. Big surprise, right after we get a whole bunch of Venom 2 stuff from Tom Hardy, we get a bunch of Tom Holland Spider-Man 3 stuff. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and leave your favorite Deadpool Spider-Man moment on the video. So just going down the list, starting with number 5, Sony just had Tom Holland go on Kimmel to promote Spider-Man 3. He's also got a couple other movies that he just made that he was promoting. They just want to catch on the synergy of all the Venom 2 stuff that's happening right now. So Sony just wants as much Spider-Man on people's brains as possible right now. The other movie that he made with the Russo brothers outside of the Marvel system recently was a film called Cherry. I don't know when that's coming out. It's supposed to come out later this year, called Devil All the Time. That's why he's got that Devil All the Time banner hanging movie that you'll probably be able to watch by the end of the year. I think people just saw him in a Spider-Man costume and the word devil next to it in their brains automatically jumped to Spider-Man 3 Daredevil because there have been rumors about Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. I've already done a video about that. Those are just rumors.
Randy,
And if it wasn't clear, this is all happening from inside his house. He posts a ton of stuff on his Instagram.
Yeah.
So if there were to be any truth to that Spider-Man Daredevil thing, and again, it could just be like, oh, people saw
Doubtful.
speculation happen. I really, really hope they bring back Charlie Cox for Daredevil.
Yeah. You can't have anyone else be
Such
Daredevil.
a good
man.
job as Daredevil.
Oh man.
He is
I mean,
Daredevil.
that's the rumor. That's the. I mean,
And I know he's
there
been one of the
is-
guys that's been fighting for like the merging of the Netflix universe with the Marvel universe. Until like when they canceled everything and they're like, yeah, anything that happened in the Netflix universe is not canon. Like he's one of the guys that's just like, no, make it canon so that we can all come in.
Yeah, seriously,
something.
there's no reason for you not to.
Yeah.
But he did numbers.
Yeah.
There was
Except
only one
Iron
flaw in
Fist.
that whole thing. Yeah, that was the only flaw. And even then, that started to get a little bit better. As
Yeah,
well,
but
but
Season 2 it got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had potential. It had
Yeah.
potential. But let me just let's see what's going on here. I just want to see the Deadpool Spider-Man part.
All right, sure.
3, probably the funniest part of this interview is when he talks about Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool trolling him the week that he was trying to get dry by sending him a case of aviation gin for free with the message, some friendly neighborhood spider gin. Ryan Reynolds was actually watching this interview while it was happening on his Instagram account, posting Tom Holland jokes like, "Oh no, how could I have known that you were going to go dry?" Why Ryan Reynolds posts so much about Aviation Gin is a real gin brand that he bought
really
about
tasty.
2 years ago. So that's why he's been posting all those parody commercials and clips. Sometimes he even gets Hugh Jackman involved for a bunch of Deadpool Wolverine jokes.
Ryan Reynolds is a complete and total The gin's pretty great, though. Have to try it someday.
Oh, this is that video he made.
Oh,
Oh,
so great.
oh,
Dude.
no.
Yeah.
Yes. That was when they had the challenge.
Sorry, man, I didn't think the truce was actually real.
I know everyone wants to see some Spider-Man Deadpool crossover in the actual MCU movies. I don't think that Marvel has any big plans for that right now. Definitely not in Spider-Man 3 or Deadpool 3, now that Deadpool 3 is going to be rated R. But now that Marvel does have control of all the
that doesn't
Fox
look good.
characters, including Deadpool, they're both under the same roof. Just expect to see a lot more Spider-Man Deadpool jokes when Ryan Reynolds starts promoting Deadpool 3. The way that he took all kinds of shots at Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, even though Hugh Jackman himself has not been in either of the Deadpool movies. They just did that Hugh Jackman joke at the end of the first Deadpool movie. They could probably get away with a Spider-Man joke like that in Deadpool 3. But Tom Holland and Ryan Reynolds are friends in real life, which helps a lot for funny crossover stunts like this. Number 2, the next big thing he was saying about Spider-Man 3 in the Uncharted movie is that originally this year, Tom Holland was filming the Uncharted movie before he was filming Spider-Man 3. If you weren't clear, they are doing an Uncharted movie based on the video game. He is playing the main character.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That
you
guy's
guys,
busy.
did you guys not know that he's?
Oh.
I knew.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, we did.
I just didn't know they started shooting though, or that aspect.
So he's Nathan Drake or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's starting out younger.
Wow.
That's
Although-
pretty good.
So with that being said, we see kind of the direction of what they want to do with Spider-Man, what fans are hoping can happen, what Ryan Reynolds is trying to make happen. Your guys' thoughts? Like, what do you guys think? What's going on with this?
I love the Deadpool like constantly flirting with Spider-Man like crap that always happens in like
Yeah.
the comic books. I think it's hilarious. So like just their dynamic like it'd just be wonderful, and I'm here for it.
And whoever did that scene or how they did the quality of those sequences of Deadpool being in Captain America: Civil War, it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's like, oh hey, someone got some skills on this.
Yeah, that's some skills. That is some skills. I can't do it
But it's
Yet.
definitely one of those
You
things
can't do
where
it yet, Sean.
yet.
There you
it's
go.
one of those things where I would
Attaboy.
definitely want to see. I definitely want to see that happen, and if they can make it happen, it's great. As far as the Nathan Drake stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, that's exciting.
Cool.
Now,
They got it going.
I did hear actually, because of where they're placing Spider-Man, they're also having to push out Doctor Strange another year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which I mean,
With everything
again,
that's going on,
it's with everything that's going on. Exactly, these things were bound to happen. We're still going to get everything, but it's one of those things where it's just like we're going to have to just wait patiently and appreciate whatever we can get our hands on. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So
Let's go.
a little bit of an announcement for Phase 4 of the Marvel.
Here's the
Really good.
They literally had to cancel filming the Uncharted movie the second day of work because of the virus. They didn't even make it 2 days on that movie. Now he's just saying that Sony is trying to decide which of those movies they're going to film first. And even though I'm sure some of you are hardcore Uncharted video game fans, I think we can all agree that financially, Spider-Man 3 is a much bigger
Oh,
priority
yeah.
for Sony.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Far From Home earned over $1 billion last year for Sony. It was the first Spider-Man movie to make over $1 billion at the box office. Spider-Man 3 is supposed to be an even bigger story and potentially earn even more money. So when he says he's not sure how it's all going to happen later this year, it's not so much if they're going to film the movie, it's just a question of when they start. Before all the virus stuff, originally their plan for Spider-Man 3 was the exact same production schedule as Spider-Man Far From Home. Shoot the movie all summer into October and then release the movie July 2021, with the first big Spider-Man 3 trailer releasing sometime between the end of this year and January
lucky.
next year. Pretty much the exact same schedule as when they dropped all the Spider-Man trailers last year for Far From Home. But number one, here's the crazy thing with the whole Venom 2 and Morbius of it all, because Sony originally had 4 different Spider-Man movies scheduled to come out next year. There was a special untitled mystery movie that was going to come out October 2021. They've pushed that into 2022. We still don't know what it is. It's probably a solo movie for another spin-off character. The Morbius movie is coming out in March. Venom 2, which we now know is Let There Be Carnage, is coming out at the end of June, meaning Venom 2 is coming out less than a month before Spider-Man 3, which sounds kind of crazy. Tom Hardy posted this fan art, then quickly deleted it off of his Instagram. It's Venom chewing up Spider-Man, so clearly he's just having fun, excited for some Venom Spider-Man crossover in the future. I know there are all kinds of rumors about what the cameos and post-credit scenes are for Morbius, Venom 2, and Spider-Man 3, so I will do Easter eggs for those when we actually get to see them, but it's obviously going to be a while. I think worst case scenario, though, with Spider-Man 3 is that they'll just have to wait a few extra weeks to start filming it this summer, then they'll move the Spider-Man 3 release date till later in July. July is like Sony's golden window of box office. They earned $1 billion for Spider-Man Far From Home. You better believe that they want to earn another $1 billion for Spider-Man 3. Hopefully by next July, there's some sort of vaccine for the virus.
Mention what they're talking about.
Okay, so this actually brings up a very good question. And this will be the last question for the podcast. And it's a bit of a bummer.
I'm gonna stop sharing, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
But so they're bringing out the numbers, $1 billion in the last one and whatnot, and the company is hoping to make another $1 billion when the movie comes out. Do you think that by then, again, like I said, this is a bummer question, but it needs to be asked. Do you think our economy will have recovered enough to where enough people will actually go out and watch the Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, a movie can be expensive, but it's not going to be like that expensive.
It's not necessarily the idea of making the movie in itself. It's whether they're going to actually be able to hit their $1 billion mark that they think that they want to profit off of.
Well, if they release it,
because let's. I mean, I hate to say this. I'm not trying to make this too serious, but the unemployment level right now is ridiculous. It's crazy. We're talking within the millions in this country alone. Like everybody's getting hit by this. It's not just us.
Yeah.
All the other markets where movies are calculated as far as making money, they're being hit at as well. So it's not just the U.S. market; it's globally. So to say that when a movie makes $1 billion, it makes $1 billion globally. Do you think not just us? I'm sorry, there's like birds flying outside my room. Do you think it's feasible when this movie comes out that there's going to be enough people making money to where it can actually hit that $1 billion, where people can actually go to the movies and whatnot?
Go ahead, 10 times 10.
I think that I think that the entertainment industry has a little bit more of a heart when it comes to this sort of thing. Hence like the premiere releases and that sort of thing at home, right? And so I feel like even though this, the next Spider-Man's supposed to be like their projected like next big budget, big hit movie, that sort of thing, I feel like, and this is probably me being hyper optimistic here, but I feel like
we need that
because it's because it's something that the fans want, that they'll still they'll still push it forward and even give it a reasonable price drop so that people can actually still go forward and enjoy it. Just because they know that the fan base is there and that they'll show up for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to say a little different as far as I'm going to go off a little history. Back when we would have like depressions and things like that, or the depression that did happen, escapism was a big thing still. It was actually a big priority for people. And I think this will mimic that depending on if they time it right. and if it's good, if it's especially too, that's the whole thing is because that first day or two might be the weakest of people testing the grounds and stuff like that to see if it's something that is worth their money, if it's worth going to see. And there's going to be guaranteed somebody that's going to go out there and see it and then come back and tell everybody, yeah, it's great, or oh, it's terrible. And then you're going to see if it's great, or if it gets a good review, or somebody gives it a thumbs up, flood.
Yeah, I think like you were saying with the escapism and everything, and also too, just like it's really going to be for movies and just the entertainment industry in general. I feel like it's going to rely heavily on word of mouth to make sure that
you guys are absolutely right. I'm thinking about it really quick, and I'll let Sean and Randy put in their 2 cents, but that's kind of why right place, right time. That's why the Beatles did so well when they came to the States, because it was around when the Beatles came out that we lost a president. He was assassinated, and everybody's energy was really low. We were all very heartbroken. And then here come the Beatles with all the energy that they've generated when, back in Europe, coming here and putting it all out there. People needed that. They needed that excitement. They needed that positive energy, and they got absorbed into Beatlemania. So yeah, you guys make absolute sense with that. That is that's like the perfect answer, I think. Sean, you were saying even before I got to finish the question, you were like, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I absolutely think so.
Entertainment is recession proof. Almost. Almost.
Yeah, the video
Depends
showed
on
there. They had to stop doing what they were doing.
Yeah, almost. So, but like to even see movies, because that used to be recession proof until what was going on right now happened. So, yeah. Once movies start coming back, I think people are going to be like, oh, an excuse to go outside? Yes, please. And then go watch movies. So,
yeah, you're right. Being with this whole shelter and the social distancing thing, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, good call. Randy?
I think what people will want to do is do something that, like I said, they had mentioned before, is escapism. And the problem with that is they have to, if that escapism, it can outweigh people's fears of what's going on. And if that's the case, then, realistically, I think that studios need to rethink I'm sure they're rethinking what their expectations are as far as revenue. Because you can't expect to make the $1 billion that you'd want to have that whole time, or there have to be realistic about it. It's like, are they going to make that money in, let's say, like originally they thought we can make it in 3 months, maybe it might be 8 months this time around,
but you still think they'll hit it, just a
not
little bit
potentially.
Okay.
It also depending on how things go, whether or not if they actually can release these films to theaters at all, whether or not, I guess we'd want to see what the home sale numbers that Universal did regarding the Trolls movie and any other movie that got released straight to home video. Which that Trolls movie is actually really good. I actually really liked it.
I watched the first one and was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, but the second one really good. I thought it was really fun. But it's one of those things where you have to see those numbers and then act accordingly. So.
All right. You know what? I think you guys might have convinced me, because I was kind of leaning in towards the negative, in the sense of just like, because again, our unemployment numbers are ridiculous. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, it's this or that, left, right. It's just, it is what it is. Like, everybody got hit by it. I think it's
more so that it's not that people don't want to work or just outright, cannot, because they're unable to. It's just they want to work.
Yeah.
We want to get back out there.
Yeah, no, it's not the case of like we're being lazy. No, people want to get back to work.
Yeah.
So
I imagine
we're hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
But once we get past what's causing all this, wherever it's just a matter of, hey, they're going to work that extra few hours that they need to, whoever, to be able to afford a movie, especially to take the family out and just get out of that whole mentality of people dying.
Stop stabbing your head, John.
Scratching my head.
I said stabbing it.
Scratching my head.
Look at that hair.
I know, Randy did it, and then I did it because it pisses Emmanuel off.
And I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but then Gamer Becca kind of did a little one, like with her hair. It was like a very small like hair. Yeah, exactly. So I missed Randy. I saw Sean do it, and I know why he did it. And then I look over to the video for Gamer Becca, and she did just a little bit one, like she was incepted. She was incepted in doing that without even realizing, because she saw two other guys with long hair do it, and she was just like, all right, I'll do it too. I hate everyone except Gamer Lane right now.
Because we mind tricked her into doing it.
Yes. And I hate you double for that.
Sorry, man.
No, you're
not. It's long hair. He can't do it.
You used to have that.
Not even, but it wasn't as glamorous, unfortunately.
You can't.
It's glamorous.
All right.
I want the facial hair. That's what I want. I want the long beard, like I've seen Alex or Rock Rage rock. It's like, oh man, I can't. It takes me forever to try to even attempt to grow half of that.
Well, the next time we do this, we got to definitely have Rock Rage on the show so that he can tell us the secret. Like if he's, there's those new hair products like Hims that help you grow hair out and keep hair, so you just put that over and just let it grow out. Is that no Hims, give us money. We've just plugged you.
I know. There was a thing there.
Yeah. So guys, we've hit the mark. We've had a lot of fun today with 10 times 10, not just for the podcast, but for the other content that you're going to see. Guys, we do a final word. Everybody says their final thing, whether it's self-promotion, whether it's nuggets of wisdom, things like that. We'll go ahead and let you guys start off. If you guys want to use it to plug everything that you guys are doing, that's great.
Guests, so yes.
If you guys have a message you want to put out there, go for it. The floor is yours.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yes.
It's always good connecting with you guys, and we need to do it a lot sooner, and hopefully in person. Hopefully everybody else will be doing good, and we'll get past all this, and we'll get back to being our normal selves. And if you're able to, you can catch us on YouTube, 10 times 10. We don't post as much as we would like to, however, but we'll probably fix that hopefully in the near future. Much rather be doing things like this though, where we connect with other people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And it's 10 times 10, like TEN times TIMES 10.
Yes.
TEN. Yeah, there you go. YouTube channel.
Also,
he did it better than I could.
Also, you guys have social media.
I checked you guys out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the social meets.
We got the socials.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at TENTIMES 100. So 10 times 10 100.
All spelled out.
Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch.
Are you on that audio platform Spotify? Really
Spotify. I am not on Spotify.
I know you guys are. Literally,
we are. Yes, we are.
Spotify.
Literally, I have to thank you guys again too, because I be at work on my Spotify listening to your guys' podcast, cracking myself up.
Oh, thanks.
Up today.
Right on, man.
Thanks,
we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sean Vander, the floor is yours.
Okay. I do stream Vander978 at twitch.tv. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming.
You guys got to Twitch together.
Huh? Oh.
I said you guys got to Twitch together. Like, you guys got to get into a room of a game of something and play together and, like,
on a Discord, real easy. On a Discord, real easy. I want to say because now that 10 times 10 is here, I want to say during our gamer challenge with 4 gamers, I want to say this right now because Lynn was barely there, and I prepped WrestleMania 2K17 just to play Lynn. And I'm like, all right, because Lynn's going to be all right, cool. All right, just Bret the Hitman Hart. I don't know how that relates to anything what I was saying, but
you said WWE.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, sure. All right, but just to play Lynn because I had a feeling Lynn was going to be my opponent in Street Fighter and in 2K17, and I'm like, I must practice. I could take any one of those guys, but Lynn's going to be the problem. So I had to practice and practice. And then there was a LP of 2K17, him and the heel CEO doing like a LP on YouTube a long time ago. And I was watching Lynn play and I go, okay, he knows how to counter. Oh, he goes for the fists and then the grabs. All right, cool. So I kind of took him to the lab for a minute and I was like, all right, I may have Lynn downloaded. I don't know, but we will see. And then to have him, find out. Yeah. And then he didn't show. He had to work that night. And I'm like, okay, all right, who's my opponent? Druid? All right, let's see how this goes.
Ladder match.
And yeah, I beat him in a ladder match, even though I didn't know how to fight in a ladder match. But whatever.
I think what was funny too is that Druid was the one that weakened the suitcase enough, and then when Sean finally had the opportunity, he took the last little bit and won.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
It was the idea that we had to yell like, Sean, right now, press the button now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, how do we do that? I'm like, you missed it. It was like, dude.
Yeah. So that was good teamwork on the Word Vomit team there. Yeah. And then I took in Street Fighter, of course. But yeah, whatever. So, and then after the whole night, Lynn shows up and he goes, cool. How'd we do? And I'm like, well, Word Vomit won. But I'm like,
winners.
Yeah, we did. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if I played Lynn,
would have been a completely different story.
What would have happened?
Might have been it might have been a different story.
I don't know.
The wrestling game, it could have went either way. I'm okay at that game. Street Fighter, I'll destroy you.
Well, I mean, now I haven't played that thing in fucking years. Like now,
I really wanted to play because I wanted to play against E-Man because I know he goes to tournaments. Because I play a lot of people. I played in a couple of tournaments, not mostly fighting games. But I wanted to try my hand.
Well, we better hurry up because, from my understanding, they're already working on part 6. So
yeah.
And if that really comes, I mean, if you're dropping the gauntlet, sir, Street Fighter, him wrestling,
we gotta find out. I must know.
All right,
we do.
All right.
But we can't play 2K20. That game is hot fire. So
no, we've got to do this. We got to do this when we get together. I think by that time, I don't want to do it online.
We got to play Street Fighter 5 again.
I don't want any of that. Like, oh, there was a latency and there was a delay on the button.
Yeah. No, we can't do that. No.
We are there. Sean, you don't have to play Street Fighter. You need to play the WWE 17.
That's fine, but like, fuck, I got to play Street Fighter 5.
No, I'm saying you don't. It's going to be me and Lynn for Street Fighter. It's going to be you and Lynn for 2K17.
Okay. All right. I could pick that back. I deleted that game with the quickness.
20 gigs, man.
I with my new hard drive, I could probably reinstall it again and see if I can re-earn everybody.
And so we can practice playing it, and we're like, how long does it take to end? I'm like, God damn it, this is how long. Never mind, dude. We're just gonna not do this.
Yeah.
We're gonna not do this now.
I still have
but those are my words.
18. I don't know if I ever got 19, but I do have 17 and 18 for sure. I'm looking at them right now.
All right. Cool. Those are
Randy,
my words.
The floor is yours.
Be kind, and if you can find hair clippers, it is not hard to cut your own hair. I did it myself. I did a really good job of it. Okay, I'm not gonna say I didn't. My wife cut my hair, which was like, oh, sweet, and she did a really good job.
Cool.
And be kind, be responsible, and buy beer because I heard it might be a shortage. So.
Oh no! What are you gonna do, Randy?
Well, you know what, Randy kind of stole mine. I always tell people to be kind, and he just took it, and I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool because it's a positive message. But that leaves me with my final words, and I will leave you with Motorhead's legendary line: "We're born to lose, we live to win." Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell on YouTube. Check out 10x10 on all their socials and their YouTube channel as well. For Vitamin E-Man, I am Vitamin E-Man, excuse me. Sean Vander, Randy Kings, 10x10.
Yeah.
Reminding everybody to, hey, stay shiny to each other.